Voting Theory Class 3 Video 3. In this video we're going to talk about another famous voting system. In particular we're going to talk about the two-round runoff voting system. Let's begin with the definition. So the definition is as follows. The two-round runoff voting system determines the social ranking in 2 rounds. So in the first round, the 2 alternatives with the most top preference votes move on to round 2. So another way of saying this is, in the first round, you eliminate all the alternatives which are not the top 2 in the plurality ranking. So you consider the plurality ranking, you look at who comes first and who comes second, and you eliminate everyone else. Okay? In the second round, the votes of the eliminated alternatives are redistributed to the remaining 2 alternatives. Okay? So all of those alternatives which are redistributed, the votes which would have gone to them, you redistribute to the 2 remaining alternatives. And the alternatives with the most top preference votes, after all the redistribution, they win. The alternative with the most top preference votes after the redistribution wins the election. Okay? This is the two-round runoff voting system. And this voting system is actually used quite a lot in the real world. So in particular, a form of this voting system is used in France to elect the president. Okay, they do it ever so slightly differently in France. So one way of implementing this system is to actually hold 2 separate votes. So in the first election, in the first vote, everyone just votes for their top choice. Okay, so you don't ask the voters to give a complete ranking, you just ask them to vote for their top choice. Okay, and then you count up all the votes, and then the 2 alternatives who got the most move on to the second round. And then in like a second round of voting, everyone has to vote for their top choice out of the 2 top alternatives. Okay, so like in the first round they can vote for whoever they want. In the second round they can only vote for the top 2 from the first round. It's essentially exactly the same as this system, it just requires a bit more work because you need 2 separate votes. You need to get the people to vote twice. Whereas if from the beginning you ask the people to give a complete ranking of their preferences, then you don't actually need them to vote more than once. We'll see what I mean when we start doing some examples. So let's look at some examples. Calculate the social ranking under the two-round runoff voting system. Okay, so as like the definition says, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work out round 1 who got the most top preference votes and who got the second most. Okay, well, I got 28 plus 9, which is 37. S got 2 plus 30, which is 32. And N got 0 plus 31, which is 31. So what does this mean? This means that we eliminate N. Okay, so we eliminate N because N got the fewest votes. So I can represent this by crossing it out on this table. And now, when we consider these 2 columns here, these are the voters who would have voted for N as their top preference. But now N is eliminated. So that means that these 31 votes, they now go to their second choice. They go to S. Okay? I think it's useful to redraw the table in times like this. So let's redraw this whole table. Votes like this. I, S, N, I, N, S. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be doing everything. I should only be doing stuff without N. So I, S, SI, SI, IS, SI, 28, 9, 2, 30, 0, 31. These are all I's. Okay, so I've literally eliminated n, and then I squished the table back up. And now let's count how many top preference votes they have. So I has 28 plus 9 plus 0, which is 37. And S has 2 plus 30 plus 31, which is 63. So this means that the social ranking under the two-round runoff is going to be S beats I beats N. Okay? This is the social ranking under the two-round runoff. S beats I beats N. And you might notice that this is actually different to the social ranking we got under the plurality voting system. Under the plurality voting system, we had I beats S beats N. And this is something that's going to happen a lot. You're going to notice that depending on what voting system you use, you get different social rankings. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. So let's do another example, a more complicated example. So calculate the social ranking under the two-round runoff voting system. So I'm going to calculate the number of top preference votes. A gets 4, B gets 8, C gets 5, D gets 10. So who goes through to the next round? Well, not A and not C. So I eliminate A and C, like this. And now I'm going to redraw this table. And I just have BD, 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 DB, 4, 8, 5, 10. Preferences, like this. And now, if I calculate how many top round preferences B and D have, after I've redistributed, it's 4 plus 8 plus 5, which is 17. And D just has 10. So the social ranking under the two-round runoff is, so B comes first, B came first, D came in second place, and then because I eliminated A and C at the same time, you say they're sort of equivalent. So they come equivalently in third place or last place, however you want to phrase it. So I could write it like this, or I could write it like this. They're equivalent. It doesn't make any difference. Okay? And again, this is a different social ranking than we got when we considered this exact same voting profile under the plurality voting system. Under the plurality voting system, D was the winner. But now, under the two-round runoff voting system, D comes in second place. So that's the end of this example, and that's the end of this video.